The revival of the Toyota MR2 could be gaining traction as rumors continue to build out of Japan. We're over at Best Car Web. They accurately predicted the new Prius. They accurately predicted the GR Corolla and many other products, as well as the Land Cruiser 300. Now we're talking about a return of a mid-engine vehicle for Toyota. We have new information coming today, and if you're excited for a new MR2 or whatever they decide to call this thing, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, because anytime I hear news on this, I will update you guys on the channel. The first thing I want to show you is the brand new render they have come up with. I don't know how accurate this will be, but remember in the past, they did absolutely nail the new Prius as well as the GR Corolla, like I mentioned. I really like this design. We have huge wheels. This seems to be a little too busy for me. There's way too much variance of design on the side, but I like this flattening behind the B pillar here, and the front end looks great, very minimal as well as sporty at the same time. I'm also getting vibes massively of the Alfa Romeo 4C, especially with this two-tone setup we have here. But getting back to the article, the joint development with Daihatsu and Suzuki. Daihatsu is like a fully owned subsidiary of Toyota. We don't see them here in the United States. They mainly make K cars. Suzuki is owned largely by Toyota. We don't get Suzukis, unfortunately, anymore in America. They were discontinued in the early 2010s. I still see them around on the roads down here in the well-preserved climate of Florida. But the 1-liter sports car is gaining traction. And the way they're talking about this vehicle seems to be like 100% happening. They say a midship that has become a presence that you do not see in recent Japanese cars. However, a car with such a midship layout is currently under development in collaboration with Toyota, Suzuki, and Daihatsu. Moreover, it will be a 1-liter class compact sports. I can't think of any vehicles in America that have a 1-liter engine. The smallest is going to be the 3-cylinder in the Mitsubishi Mirage at 1.2 liters. This is, of course, naturally aspirated. The Toyota engine they're talking about, or more, should I say the Suzuki engine, of course, is force-induced with a turbocharger. For the platform, they're using the front suspension from the Yaris B platform, but the rest of it looks to be completely modified from something else, specifically for the midship or mid-engine vehicle. Now, Suzuki is in charge of engine development, and it is convincing that it will be a mild hybrid. Now, this is new development. Previously, we didn't hear anything about a mild hybrid. At least I was expecting it to be just turbocharged. Mild hybrid doesn't add really that much weight, but they're saying the little electric motor in there is about 4 to 5 horsepower. And there are improvements on the K10C engine, which is a 3-cylinder 996cc turbo engine we see in the Swift. Now, they will also make 3 different variants of this midship vehicle. Suzuki, Daihatsu, Toyota will have their own designs on it. Think of it something like the BRZ and the Toyota GR86. Same car, slightly different tuning, and slightly different looks. Now, the prices are out of this world. These equate to about $16,000, $17,000 to about $25,000, but that won't translate to US dollars. I guess I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And here are the dimensions for this vehicle as well as expected specs. So what we're going to do is go ahead and head on over to the spreadsheet. And this seems to be a direct fighter to the Mazda Miata MX-5. The 3-cylinder 1-liter seems to be a lock, but man, what do I have loved the Hayabusa engine in there. Turbo it. Guys, we could get crazy horsepower out of it. And like, this is just naturally aspirated here, but I don't think they would go in that route. It's probably way too maintenance heavy for such a vehicle. So let's look at what they are planning here with the 3-cylinder 998cc or 1-liter. Power is expected to be 118 horsepower or 88 kilowatts. Torque is supposed to be 145 pound-feet or 197 newton meters. Rear-wheel drive, of course. I don't know if they would call it MR2, but that's just kind of the placeholder name for it right now. 0 to 60, I would expect 6.5, 7 seconds on this mid-engine vehicle, where we know the Miata is around a 6-second car to 60. Now, the dimensions are pretty interesting here because they're expecting it to be longer than the MX-5, just a hair bit skinnier when you look at it from the front or the back. Height is nearly identical. Wheelbase is about 240 millimeters longer on the MR2 vehicle, which might make it ride better for highway driving, I guess, but might not be as flickable in the turns. But the weight is nearly identical here. They're aiming for 1,000 kilograms, which puts it right there with the MX-5 Miata. Now we know the Miata starts around 28K. They're saying, at least in Japan, it could start as low as 17K. Now they also, if we go back, something they don't even mention here, but they say it in the little like footnote of the image. They say that there is a standard type that what we're looking at here. Then there's also a GR model that could be coming. Well, and a GR model is coming for Toyota. So these numbers here could very well be the base model, especially with this modest amounts of horsepower and torque. So don't be surprised when we see this, or if we see this vehicle in America, if we get a higher output 3-cylinder turbo to better compete with the horsepower numbers that we see on the MX-5. The prices are going to be lower over there, but they'll also have lesser variants. I only expect maybe a higher horsepower variant, like I said, which is probably higher than what we see here, to come to the United States market. Fingers crossed it passes like safety regulations so it could come here. 25K would be a great starting point, but if we look at the Miata, it's encroaching on about $30,000, so that's where we could see this vehicle. I mean, I feel like the allure of this vehicle would be higher than the MX-5 because it is a mid-engine vehicle, and there just really isn't anything like it out there on the market for affordability and midship nature. I guess the only vehicle that I can think of, the 718 from Porsche. So, all right, what are my expectations? What do I want to see from this vehicle? I have some notes here that still remain true, even though I really haven't updated them since the last time around. Hybridization, I thought, was not going to be a thing, but it looks like it is happening. So I would like 150 horsepower, and if we get torque to 200 pound-feet, that would be excellent. We would love to see the removable top. I don't know if that will happen, though. I feel like it's almost a must when we're talking about competing with the MX-5 here. What would you like to see from this vehicle from Toyota, Daihatsu, as well as Suzuki? I'll see you in the comments down below, but I wanted to update you guys real quick on this. Over at Creative Trends, they're echoing or retweeting, I guess you could say, this article that was over at the Drive in Australia saying that the RAV4 will get a redesign in the beginning of 2025. That article over at the Drive in Australia has been taken down. So there must have been some insider information going on there. But what we essentially have is they're expecting by the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025, we'll have a brand new generation of RAV4, which makes sense. That's about where the product life cycle should be ending since it was debuted in around 2018 for the vehicle. They're saying that there will be an updated hybrid system, which doesn't come as a surprise. I believe it's still on the 4th generation hybrid, where 5th generation Toyota hybrids are out there on the market now. The 5th generation hybrids don't seem to be that much more efficient than 4th gen, but they seem to have more power. So I think it would be reasonable to expect maybe a little bit more horsepower than 219 horsepower here that we see in the RAV4 hybrid. The Prime will live on, and it might get a slight boost to power, but I don't expect them to change the battery pack size or anything like that. It's way too early to kind of speculate on the RAV4 and the redesign, but if you're waiting for the redesign, it's probably going to be early 2025 at this point. So I just felt like throwing that in there for you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. All we can do at this point is just send our hopes and prayers that this 1-liter midship vehicle makes its way to America, but I'm not going to lose sleep if it doesn't because I just don't want to get my hopes up too much. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.